podcast. The Lady Gang Canvas Restaurant got a little meeting. Hooked up by my English and Kim. Got my nephew with me. Devin, represent that Lord to Love the Trail. Y'all go get it.
Another character I love was the principal. I mean, you know, I worked with him.
Yeah, you see him trouble and he stuck with him. Yeah, he did.
He didn't turn his back on that Champ. Instead, you know, he was trying to motivate Champ to come to school. We need more educators like that are motivating our kids instead of putting them down. That's what we need. But I mean, altogether, like, the book was completely phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to part 2. I got to the end. I was like, wait, hold up. And I was on page 213. I'm like, I'm ready for the next book. So I'll be waiting for that. But awesome book. Good job. Love it.
Well, this your boy, Wayne Grind, author of Lords of Love Betrayal. I'm from Cut After Cut City. What up, D Black? Franklinton, Louisiana, on the North Shore. And I worked in the music business for a couple of years, worked with a lot of big artists. Some artists you may know, some you may not know. I worked with Miss Connie on the Lil Booster situation. I managed super producer Heartbeats. I managed him for like 2 years. I worked with Kelsey Nicole. She's a girl with the blonde hair from the MTV thing. Man, we got a good relationship. But then I had to get back to myself, back to Wayne Grind. I had to get back to my writing and put my book out. So now that's where I'm at right now, trying to get this book in every household of every reader, in the hands of every reader. You know, it's a good book. If you ain't got this book, you're a reader, you slipping, man. You need to go get this book, put it in your catalog. It's a good story. Wayne Grind, support the movement. I never, beyond my biggest dreams, I never thought I'd be a writer. This was nowhere written, I guess, you know. But when I went to prison, I was in prison and I joined a program called a Therapeutic Community. It was like a program where they teach you about how to re-enter society and how to live again or whatever. So I went there to try to go get good time. And I got in, I actually ended up learning a lot of stuff that I benefited from then and now. And there's a lady in there, and she was telling me, she said, won't you go in there? She said, you're a good person. She said, but you'll never overcome a lot of obstacles until you accept life for what it is and not for what you want it to be. She said, I want you to go in your room, get pad and paper, and go in there and write your story down from the time you remember pain up until now. She said, so it's only you, so you got to be honest with yourself. You can't lie to yourself. So for like 2 or 3 months, man, I went up in there and I wrote, I cried, because I'm telling real stuff, like things that was going on in my life or had went on in my life, and I lost my mom or whatever, like, and just coming up, you know. So I'm pouring it out on paper. Then when I had wrote so much, when I brought it back to her, she was like, man, she was like, this a book. You can wrote a book. So she was like, all you gotta do is get somebody to edit the book. She was like, this a book. You can put this out as a book. So it kind of struck me then, but it really didn't, because like I didn't learn a lot in school, you know. Like in school, I wasn't the type of learner. I was a class clown, you know. I was the guy that got in trouble. I was the guy, you know, I was that guy. I wasn't focused after my mom died. Like I just basically just gave up. And one day I was in lockdown, and a guy brought me a book. It was called Make Me Wanna Holler by Nathan McCall. I never met this guy, never knew this guy. I wish I would one day, but it kind of shaped my life. And he was a guy that was going through the struggle. He had did time. He was trying to re-enter society, and the people was hard on him. Like he went through the struggle, but he overcame a lot of stuff. And from that book, it was like I just wanted to, it motivated me. I just wanted to be a writer. So I like self-taught myself, like, you know, self-taught myself how to read, how to write. Like basically everything I learned inside of the institution, because I was, you know, caged in. I guess I had no other choice but to battle myself, you know. A lot of people think when you're incarcerated that it's supposed to rehabilitate you. Like, it don't rehabilitate you. That's something that you got to do yourself. You got to rehabilitate yourself. You got to really want it. So I guess I had been in and out so many times to where I was really wanting it. And so I wrote the book, came home, you know, went through a lot of ups and downs with the book. A lot of people sold me dreams until I met this one lady, Miss Suzanne Ferry. Shout out Miss Suzanne from California. She came through, she did everything that she told me. She was like, if you want your book deal, just send me this and I'm gonna do it. And I did it. And she have been an angel to me. Like, she did everything she said she was gonna do. Like, and she still continue to work with me to this day, you know, like, and so once the book came alive, like, I had, you know, like, my expectations, they wasn't as high for the book because, like, I'm finished, like, I got the book because it was talked about, and I promoted the book like 2 years before I even got the book put together. It was still on writing in the closet, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to Miss Brunfield, she typed it up for me, and Miss Janice Brunfield, yeah, she a blessing too. Yeah. How did prison impact my life? That's crazy. Because it's a positive and a negative to that. Being in prison, it was hard because, like, when I first went to prison, I was 18 years old and I went to the penitentiary. And like, upon me getting my sentence, you know, I was sentenced to 32 years, two 16-year sentences in Mississippi, and it was hard because, like, my dad, he only came after sentencing when I got my time. And he told me, he was like, son, I see you finally made it to where you want to be. You made your bed hard, you lay in it. So from that day forward to 7 years later, I didn't get visits, I didn't get money orders, wasn't phone calls. Like, he really meant what he said, you know. So that kind of, it was hard for a minute, but it made me man up. Like, it made me, I knew I was on my own, and I knew I couldn't lay down, I knew I had to survive. And so it made me better in a sense. And it's crazy because, for real, it's sad to say, but really prison was like the best thing that really happened to me. Because, like, prison is where I turned myself around, turned my life around. I wanted to do better. I learned how to read, I learned how to write, I learned how to communicate with people, I learned how to deal with society. Like, it was a lot of things that I learned. And there was a bitter side to it. Like, when I was in prison, right before I come home, my sister ended up getting killed. Then we buried my sister, you know, and then that next day, Easter weekend, my son ended up getting killed. So, like, it was like a bittersweet thing. It caused me to detach from a lot of things, family members, a lot of stuff. People just, you know, it just emotionally it messed me up, but it prepared me for where I'm at today. You know, prison really did that, because me personally, I don't see myself doing that if I would have been free, because I sure wasn't finna sit down and look at no books, and I wasn't finna be listening to nobody. You know, I had to be put in that situation, and that's kind of sad. But in order for me to come out of that situation and be sitting right here in front of you, I had to want it. Today, I've been home 10 years free. Coming up next year, matter of fact, I'll be home 10 years. So prison is like a gift and a curse, you know. If I had to do it again, it's kind of crazy. Like, if I was gonna get the same outcome, I guess, yeah, because, you know, I kind of like who I am now. I like my freedom, you know, so it's cool, you know. It was a good thing and a bad thing, you know, so. Loyalty, love, and betrayal. Talk about the book. That's what it is. Loyalty, love, betrayal. That's what the name of it is. That's what the cover is. That's what the story is. It's loyalty, love, betrayal. But it's about kids growing up in the hood, surviving the hand that they was dealt with. One of the main characters was a guy, Silk. He was a guy that took these kids that come from these broken homes or whatever, and he taught them how to hustle. You know, he had a car wash. He brought them in, taught them how to car wash, taught them how to hustle. You know, taught them morals, taught them principles, and survival skills. It was a lot of negative stuff in the book, but at the same time, it's a positive side to it, because at the same time, even though they was doing negative, they were still young black men that was trying to establish businesses and do things to better themselves. It was just the way that they was going about doing it. And it's a great book. And if you a reader, again, like I say, if you ain't got it in your household, man, you slipping. Champ, one of the characters, like one scene in the book, you know, where Champ and Bo, where Champ get with the daddy, bring the son to the house, to the girlfriend house, and he get there and see that they got all the same stuff, and, you know, find out they got the same daddy, and, like, you know, it's like crazy, and they bond, and The rest of the friends, is like the bond between the kids is crazy. And all the kids coming from different homes, you know. And there's a lot of love. Even though the bond is there, there's still a lot of loyalty. There's a lot of love. And there's a lot of betrayal. And like these are things that go on in everyday life. This is a good book. Check the book out. What's next for Wayne Grind? Okay, next I got Loyalty, Love, and Betrayal Part 2. Coming soon to a hood near you. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. And I got a situation with Polish with Tia and Tiffany. I'm finna start shooting a short film with Keep Watching Kitty and her crew. And I'm about to start working with the kids, start talking to the kids, the underprivileged kids, going in and speaking with them and just letting the kids know a little bit about my life and let them know that, you know, if I can do it, hey, anybody can do it, you can do it. And try to motivate them to get on the right track and just let them know that, you know, there's other avenues and other routes that we can take besides, you know, going to crime or going to drugs because the system is a failure. Like, you know, it's set up for us to fail. Like, only a few overcome. And, yeah, just work with the kids, man. It's a promise I had been made. So, watch out for Wayne Grind Movement, man. It's going to be big. Support the movement, man. You can find me in the streets, but 9 times out of 10, I'm going to have that book on me because I keep it on me. You hear me? I stay cocked with that book. You also can go to online stores like Barnes & Noble's, Books A Million, Amazon.com. You can go and get the ebook copy, download it to your iPad or whatever you want to do. You can find me, Wayne Grind, everything. You can go to WayneGrind.com. You can order the book from WayneGrind.com. You also can go on and where they order books and go down and scroll and hit download. It pull up the first 2 chapters. You can read the first 2 chapters for free. And if you order from my website, I send those books personally. I sign them and I send them out myself, you know, hands-on, everything. Wayne Grind Instagram, Wayne Grind Twitter, Wayne Grind Facebook. Or just catch Wayne Grind in the streets, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to have that loyalty, love, betrayal on it for sale. This my grind, this my baby, this my hustle. Like the weed man want 15 a gram, I want 15 a pop, a book. It's the hustle, like turning negatives into positives. So you gotta respect it coming from where I come from. So if you got dreams, man, I encourage you, man, to push harder. I encourage you to network with people. I encourage you to grind. I encourage you to take it serious. Go hard for your passion. Go hard for what you want. Salute to everybody that's messing with the movement, Loyalty, Love, Betrayal. And for those that's not, I salute you too. It's all love. Loyalty, Love, Betrayal. WayneGrind.com. Go check it out, man. What's up, bitch? Ray.
Hey, what's up, man?
What up, little bitch? What you doing?
I ain't doing shit. What the fuck you got going on?
Man, I'm in the middle of an interview when you call. Bitch, you got that money I sent you?
Yeah, last week I got it.
Yeah, I
What's
got
up
it.
with you, bitch?
I'm in the middle of a fucking interview, nigga. What you want to say to the world, nigga?
Like a fucking job, bitch?
Hey, no, bitch. I'm about my book. Hey, what you want to say to the world, nigga? You on a live interview, nigga. Put live from the penitentiary, nigga.
Tell the world I say what up, baby.
What you say? Tell the world to let you back in, huh?
I need some help, baby.
Hey, world, my brothers ain't need some help, man. They gonna get you some help. They gonna get you some freedom, my nigga.